Live with me, Poonam Burde. The story that we're focusing on this hour is the unending hate that we're seeing, hate against India, against the Hindu community in Canada. Unfortunately, it's spilling over to the United States as well. But first, let's talk about what happened in Canada. There was Lakshmi Narayan Temple where we had pro-Khalistani sympathizers come out and harass the people who were at the temple. And remember, there were warnings that such an attack would take place. Just a few days ago, during Diwali festivities, we also saw something similar happen. Once again, at this temple in Surrey, we had pro-Khalistani sympathizers who did come out and attack these temples, try and attack the Hindu community, but the community gave it back as well. They were confronted. There are no takers really for this kind of propaganda that these pro-Khalistani sympathizers are trying to unleash. We've seen many of failed referendums there, very few people actually turning up. Every single time they try and put out these propaganda videos, India has been giving it back in equal measure, both diplomatically. That is something Canada has been looking into as well. But unfortunately, the list is never ending and more instances only keep coming to the fore. Let's take a look at what exactly has happened in this particular temple in Surrey in Canada. These gay groups were protesting outside the Lakshmi Narayan Temple there. That is when the Hindu community confronted these pro-Khalistani sympathizers. Their protest was a complete failed one because the Hindu community went on to counter these protests and push them back. This harassment by the K elements was something that was confronted by the Hindu group. Their propaganda clearly failing. The pro-Khalistani sympathizers forced to leave from there. What we're learning from our temple officials from there in Surrey is that the fear for our lives was because of this K elements and that these things happened regularly there. Temples are frequently targeted, is what this official told us. No action has been taken by the Canadian authorities despite several complaints, is what one of the temple officials came out and confirmed to us here on CNN News 18. And this only goes on to show the kind of laxity or complicity, if you will, as far as the Canadian authorities and this kind of anti-India hate is concerned. Unfortunately, we're also seeing some spillover effect into the United States. We had the ambassador of India to United States, Singh Sandhu, who was at a local gurdwara in Long Island, where there were certain questions that were put to him. Another propaganda video that was thrown out by the SFJ, going on to show or try to paint a picture that this is how they confronted the Indian ambassador to the United States. But this was not the case. This is nothing but a fabricated news story. This is just propaganda and fakery by SFJ and Gurpatwant Singh Pannoon is what we are gathering from our sources here within the intelligence. In fact, we have some more breaking news that's coming in as well, and we're gathering more information from our sources within the intelligence agency. And this is about how the desperation of Sikh for justice and its leader is only escalating now, which is why this video of Taranjit Singh Sandhu is being put out by these pro-Khalistani sympathizers to try and paint a narrative which is not the real picture, which is not the complete picture. In fact, let's tell you exactly what had transpired at that Long Island Gurdwara in New York. Here's what exactly happened, but this is a narrative that Sikhs for Justice is trying to paint. Indian diplomats are respected across communities. There's absolutely no question as far as that is concerned. Sikhs for Justice is misleading via social media. They're in fact trying to make money out of these propaganda videos as well. Diplomat Sandhu's video is part of this propaganda, and that is exactly what it is. It is not the true story, which is what has been made clear by our sources within intelligence agencies here in India. Taranjit Singh Sandhu was honoured by the local Sikh community. There was absolutely no assault or heckling that took place, as SFJ would like us to believe. In fact, these pro-Khalistani sympathizers were harassing Indians at events and temples, and this is not the first time that we have seen something like this come to the fore. The major concern really is that the inaction that comes to the fore from the police, be it United States or be it Canada, that seems to remain the common theme as far as authorities turning a blind eye is concerned. India is soon going to be raising these issues with its counterparts because it is about India's ambassador, it is about the highest diplomat in that country, and it is something that will be taken up diplomatically as well. Safety and security of Indian diplomats is a top priority, will continue to be one. That is something that India had echoed when we had seen several such attacks and several such hecklings take place of the Indian ambassador, the Indian High Commissioner to Canada as well. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, Sikhs for Justice, these Khalistani sympathizers seem to be getting desperate by the minute, which is why we keep seeing these threat videos that come out, the propaganda videos that they keep putting out. There are very little takers, even for the multiple referendums they try to hold.
It looks like apathy from the side of administration and from the government side that this organization like Sikh for Justice and other pro-Khalistani organizations have been let run amok in the two societies that we have seen. Sikh for Justice, especially Panun, who has been a US and Canadian citizen, who has been organizing most of these referendums that we have seen happening in the recent months in Australia, in UK, in USA, and in Canada. Also, Sikh for Justice has been defending many cases of pro-Khalistani elements or violent individuals who have been charged with serious criminal charges in India also. So, the complicity of the local government in Canada and USA has been very worrying for the Indian government. And we know that, there have been a lot of discussions going on. There is a working mechanism between the two sides, between India and Canada and between India and USA as well, where the two sides regularly discuss and share intelligence input on the challenges and national security threats. In USA's case, there is MEA had recently said that there is a working mechanism where the two sides had recently shared how the organized crime, how the gunneries, how the individuals could be a challenge to the national security. And in India's case, Indian government has been working on that. And in USA's case, the Indian government expects USA would take some strong actions that would deter these elements to target Indian communities and Indian diplomats in the future as well. But at the same time, we continue to see every day or every alternate day that there is some incidents in Canada or in USA which involves these Khalistani elements who goes on and disrupts and targets Indian communities, Indian temples, and Indian diplomats. Today, we saw those videos of Indian ambassador in USA, Taranjit Sindhu, who was apparently by a couple of people who shouted and who kind of demanded that Hardeep Singh Nijjar's killing has been a responsibility of Indian government and they should come out clean on that. We know that the propaganda was also set up to some extent by the Canadian Prime Minister, who claimed that Indian agencies' alleged role was there in killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. But in the last 2 months or so, he has not been able to share any concrete evidence on the basis of which he had made up that case. So there is a side of issue which involves these Khalistani elements. But the more worrying sign is that the local government's apathy towards these extremist elements who are posing a serious security challenge for Indian communities present in these countries.
Abhishek, do stay on with me. Security analyst Major General A.K. Sivaj now joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You know, we see this kind of free run to pro-Khalistani sympathizers both in Canada and the United States. Unfortunately, it's not just the common citizens of India there that are facing the brunt. The High Commissioner in Canada, the Ambassador in the United States, also at the receiving end of this. And it's really up to these countries to now ensure that this stops.
Yeah, very correct. See, the point is that both in US and Canada especially, that the protesters are coming and protesting outside a temple, Hindu temple. What message are they sending? Why the Canadian government is not able to take action against that? Now, every time the Canada is raising a finger and pointing out that Indian agencies are involved in elimination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, we have been telling time and again, where is the proof, where is the evidence? We are ready to cooperate with it, but provided you provide us a concrete evidence. But instead of giving a concrete evidence, now they have reached to a stage wherein it is been doctored, it is monitored by them, that they are the one which are now bringing this Khalistani activists and they are protesting not only in front of our embassy, but also in front of Hindu temples. And the Hindus there in Canada especially are living in threat and fear. And this is a failure of Justin Trudeau government. In fact, he has failed it completely like his father failed. The question comes today as far as Canada is concerned, they are playing with fire. They need India more than India needs Canada. There is a free trade agreement which was to be signed. This has gone in a cold status only due to Justin Trudeau's attitude, and we know that basically he is doing everything for his domestic politics because Justin Trudeau government is a minority government and he needs Gurmeet Singh has New Democratic Party which is a pro-Khalistani separatist. So the question today which is coming is that in case they allow such people to protest in front